Hey everybody, it's Steve. Welcome back. Today we're once again at my mom's house where she's had a little bit of a difficulty with her hot water dispenser. It's an Insinkerator, and as you may know from our prior video on pork chop making, she's extraordinarily strong from pounding pork chops to the bone, and so she was able to tear this handle right off the faucet and it needs to be replaced. Luckily, replacing it is something that even I can do. Okay, so what happened here is I got the phone call from my mom saying, hey look, the handle has broken off on my faucet. I said, okay, how many handles does it have and what's the finish? I'll just order one online on Amazon and come over and fix it. It should be easy peasy. Well, she tells me there's one handle and it was this like nickel finish. So I look online, I buy one, I come over to do it, and it turns out a couple things weren't quite as I expected. Number one, this is actually a two-handle faucet. It has a hot, which is one that was just broken off. It was also a cold handle at one time, but that was broken off like 5 or 6 years ago, and I completely forgot about that, and I guess she didn't care about that handle, so she didn't bother mentioning it. All right, so the one that I bought wasn't going to work anyway, but then I got underneath the sink, took a look at that, and saw all kinds of pipes and tubing that came out of the bottom of it, which was not consistent with what I had purchased either. In fact, you need a genuine Insinkerator faucet with all the tubing already built in and attached to it. So we're just going to go in, we're going to remove the old one and then connect up these parts that are part of the faucet. These are quite hard to find. The only place I could find it was a place called Carol Parts. Now, it's not part of the Amazon affiliate program, so in theory, I don't think I'm going to get any commission, but if you need one of these things, I think that might be the only place you can get it, other than maybe on eBay. So I do have a link for that down below. You can check that out. Okay, so the first thing we'll need to do is to turn off the water supply. Now, you should have a dedicated on-off valve for your unit, but you may or may not. So what you need to do is you need to look at your machine, figure out where the water is coming from, and then sort of trace that back. So start by finding the underside of your faucet. You'll see a star nut there and some copper tubes that come out of it. Trace those copper tubes back. Those are your water lines. You'll see it connects here at this Y fitting, and then beyond that it'll connect to your water supply via this white hose. At that point it becomes a blue hose, and trace that back, and in our case it goes up to our filter. So you can turn off the water there. In our case we have that lever there, or you can keep tracing the line back to this knob and you can turn off the water here. I will caution you though, sometimes these knobs like these do corrode over time, and turning them into the off position or back on can end up creating a new leak. So take a look at it. If it looks like it's in good condition, then you should be fine. Otherwise you might want to consider another way of turning off the water, like outside or like I'm doing with our filter system. Alright, so ideally we would have a handle here to turn the water on so that we could run out any excess water and to confirm that we've actually turned off the water. But since I have neither a hot or cold handle, I can't do that. So we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed and hope that everything is shut down properly. Alright, now although we're not going to be doing any electrical work, it's always best to have the machine unplugged while we're working down there. And that's just because sometimes water can end up spraying or dripping, and you don't want that machine plugged in with electricity running through it while you're working. So shut that power off by unplugging the plug. Alright, so here's our new piece, and you can see that it has these 5 tubes, I guess you call that copper, and then some rubberized ones, 3 rubberized ones. Alright, so we'll do these 3 first, and these are nice because it doesn't require a wrench. So the blue one, we'll do that one first. That just has this like little push thing here. So we're going to squeeze that and then just pop it off. And then next we'll do this larger plastic tube, and that one just pulls straight off. Just pull and pop it free. And likewise this thinner tube also just pops right off. So just use some force and just pop that away from the Insinkerator. So next we'll do these copper tubes, which are secured with some small nuts. So you'll need a little wrench for that. I'm using a crescent wrench. Now the first tube was no problem. I just lefty-loosey on this, and we're gonna free the tension on that, and then I could just undo it with my hand. And you'll see some water has come free here, so luckily we have a little bucket to collect that water. This is just residual water. Now if you didn't turn the water off, you're going to get water spraying everywhere at this point, so hopefully you did that. Okay, now for me the next one was a little bit trickier because of all the tubes and the space issue here. I couldn't get my wrench in there. So instead what I did is I actually disconnected it at a different point, a little bit beyond where the this T-fitting is. So you can see here, I'll loosen that one. Okay, so we have all the things disconnected at this point, and so we are ready to now remove the faucet from the sink. All right, so here's our old faucet already removed, and I wanted to show you how this is held into place. So at the bottom, underneath the sink, you're gonna see this star-shaped nut right here. And if you're lucky, you can just muscle it loose and it will come free. And then you're gonna remove it all the way down this threaded tube and then pull it past all of the pipes. But unfortunately for us, it was on there very, very tight, and there's like no room to get a traditional wrench in there, like a crescent wrench or a plumber's wrench or anything like that. So we ended up having to buy a special tool, and this is what's called a basin wrench. And it's specifically designed to get up in there underneath the sink and latch onto a nut like that. So you'll see here at the top, it'll kind of grab it like a claw. You're going to wrap it around like this and turn it. So as it's currently set up, this is to tighten. To loosen, you flip this over, and then the same thing, you're going to wrap it around your nut, and then you'll turn, and that will help you loosen it. So let me show you how I did that underneath the sink. So you only need to use the tool just to get it loose. Once it's loose enough to do by hand, then just spin that nut all the way off the threads. And once you've got it off the threads, then we'll just wind it through the tubes and the pipes so that it is completely removed altogether. All right, here's our star nut removed. We've already disconnected everything else, so it should just pull right out. And there it is. And of course, because of all those pipes and tubes, you're going to have to kind of wind it through there carefully. Hopefully you can just pull it through. You might have to get back under there and maneuver something, but it looks like I'm going to be able to get it. If you get these big tubes out of the way first, that makes it easier. And there it is. So that's the bad part. We'll throw this one away. All right, before I drop my new faucet in the hole, I'm going to clean the dirt that's built up over the years over the hole there, using one of these scrub daddies, which is really good. You can use a mild cleaning agent as well. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect because you're not going to see it anyway, but just wanted to get a little bit clean. Okay, so here's our new one. First of all, I'm going to just bend this copper tubing so that it's a bit straighter. That'll make it easier to fish down the hole. We need to bend it again when we're down there, we will. Quick side note here, I have a standard size hole, 1.5 inches. They provide you with this washer though if you have a hole that's bigger than that. Now, if you're going to need to use the washer, you actually have to remove this threaded extension piece, take it all the way off. Then you take your washer, slide that up, and then put this piece back on, and then drop this down into the hole. But since luckily I have the right size hole, we're not going to worry about that. I'm just going to leave this on in place. Okay, so that's pretty straight. So now we should be able to just slide that down in through our hole. But before we do that, we'll need to take this star nut off. Make sure you've done that, if you haven't already. And then this will go in underneath, and we'll reconnect it like we just took off the other one. So this is separate. Now we'll drop this down into our hole. So I'll take all your tubing and make sure that you're going to line that up and slide it down in there, just like that. Okay, so in a second I'm going to climb back under the sink. I need my fiber washer and my star nut, and we're going to push those up and then secure this to the countertop. So from under the sink, take your fiber washer and loop it around all of the tubes, and then slide that all the way up to the top to the threaded extension, and then follow that with your star nut and that also goes all the way up to the extension. Run that all the way to the top until it is finger tight. Okay, so I have my washer on and I've hand tightened the star nut. Now I'm going to come back up here. I want to make sure this is pointed the way I want it. You have some maneuvering room here, but I want this angled like this. And I want to make sure that the bottom is flush with the countertop. Make sure that it's not angled in any weird way. Once I've set that up the way I want it, I'll go back underneath and then I will more securely tighten that star nut. In terms of tightening the star nut, you want to make sure that it's secure, sufficient so that this thing is not moving around. Anything more than that, you risk over tightening. So you can, again, use this to really get it cinched up in there if you need to, but you're probably not going to want to do it more than half a turn just because you don't want to over tighten anything. So if this is fixed, then you're good. If you're able to move this around easily, then it needs to be tightened further. All right, so here's our old part for demonstration purposes. So we're going to connect our small plastic tubing to the first connector, and then we'll do our fatter tube to the second one, and then lastly we will do our blue tube. Now this is the one that has that little button that you push to remove it, but to put it on we're not going to push that. Instead we'll just take the tube and push down until it snaps into place. Alright, so again, this is the old unit. Now you'll see here on this one we have these other components that were attached to it. This one doesn't have that. It just has straight copper tubing. And instead of all this stuff, we're just going to use this piece. And this is just going to push in to each of the two tubes that come down. So let's take a look at that and I'll show you what I mean. To make it easy, line up both copper tubes and push in at the same time. Next, we're going to take this piece of white tubing that they provided, and this is going to connect into the other end of that quick connector that we have down there. Now you'll need to use two hands and make sure that it's pushed in all the way firmly so that when you tug it, it doesn't come out. Okay, once you have your white tubing secure, you're going to take this little brass nut that's provided. That'll slide onto the white tubing just at the end. And then this little, what they call it, a ferrule, slide that onto the tubing. And then lastly, this little brass piece will actually plug into the tubing at the end as well. Next, insert the white tube into the brass fitting for your water supply and secure the nut. So where we connect our white tubing to our existing plumbing, that is a compression fitting. So as you hand tighten, you might think, oh, that's good enough, but you're probably going to still see some leaking. You're going to need to use a wrench 1 or 2 turns to make sure that's secure so that that compression fitting is tight. Okay, so we made our connections. We're ready to test it. Do not plug it in yet. We're just going to turn on the water supply only, and then we'll run it and let the tank fill. And then if everything's good and we don't have any leaks, then we will go and plug it in and see if we got our hot water, which we should. All right, so let's turn the water on first. Okay, our water supply is on. The unit is still unplugged. We're going to run the hot water, and it may take a minute or two before water starts to flow because the tank has to fill up. It might spit, it might sputter, all that's normal. You should expect that. You won't have any hot water though because we're not plugged in yet. Well, let's give it a shot. You see there's a bit of a delay as it's filling up that tank. All told, this is going to take about 2 minutes. You see it does take a little bit of time for that tank to fill up. Now you have a partner, you can have them check down below and make sure there's not some sort of weird leak that's going on. But I don't hear anything, so we should be good. Just waiting for it to fill up. And here it comes. So it did take a bit of time. So I want to let this run through 1 to 2 minutes at this point. So I'm not going to make you sit here and wait. We'll speed everything up. We'll just do a quick dissolve, and we'll come back and we'll do the cold. All right, we're back, and I let that run for 2 minutes. So now I'm going to do the cold, and let that run for 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes is up, and looks like we're pretty good up here. So let's go down underneath and check all the spots where there's a potential for leaks and make sure we don't have any. And if we don't, then we'll be ready to plug in. So first we'll check our Y adapter, check the copper sides, make sure that there's no water there, and then the plastic white tubing, that should also be bone dry. All right, and then we'll check where our white tube connects to our main water supply. That's the one with the compression fitting. And then finally we'll check the 3 connections at the top of the unit. Make sure each one of those is dry, no moisture, no dampness, no leaks. Okay, so good news. I don't see any leaks, so I think we are good in that regard. So we're ready to plug our unit back in. Okay, our unit has been plugged in for about 15 or 20 minutes now, and I could actually hear it boiling down there, so I think the water will be hot. Let's give it a quick test. And you don't really want to get your hand in there too much, because if it's hot, it is hot. Reminds me of that time I was at the church and I accidentally put my hand in the holy water. Anyway, that is hot, so we are good down there. The unit is working, producing the hot water as we expected. I don't see any drips here. If you want to do another confirmation down below to make sure there's nothing leaking down there, you should do that. One trick is that you can lay down some newspaper, and once you have that newspaper down there, wait 15-30 minutes and make sure that when you come back the newspaper is still bone dry, and you can see ours is still bone dry. So that's good. It's dry. It's bone dry, which is what we wanted. Okay, so we're good. Let's wrap up. All right, that is all we have for today. So if you found that video helpful, please hit that like button, please subscribe. We do have some affiliate links both up in the corners down below. So check those out. Any of those purchases made through those links will help out the channel. We get a little bit of a commission, so I do really appreciate that. So that is it for today. Until next time, this has been Steve for things that even I can do it.